Okay, here we go. This is something else I'm working on. It's a 57 convertible. Right now, obviously the body is separated from the brand new chassis that I'm putting in. This is my very professional rigging here. The chassis and everything I did not do. That's from Canadian Hot Rod Incorporated Inc. Whatever. I'll remember the name. Oh, here we go. Those guys there. So anyways, real quick, new gas tank, new rear end, new exhaust, new everything, new LS3, new rad, old sheet metal, but it's still in good shape, so it's fine. New tires and rims. So yeah, working on this for a customer, basically just putting it together. I'll do a little bit of fab work once it goes back together. The only thing I've had to do so far was make this plate here for this e-stop. This was in the old car, but he wants in this one, and just the way that they had everything, there was nowhere to put it in the middle, which is where they originally had the e-brake lines running. So what I had to do is shift them over here, make this little bracket. This will get mounted underneath, and yeah, the only reason I couldn't put it on this frame directly is because they have everything run internally. Fuel lines, brake lines, everything goes through there, and I just didn't want to take a chance and nick anything there, so just mounted it to the frame here and here. And yeah, so now I'm just putting everything back together, back underneath there, and that's about it. I'm back working on the 57. I got everything hooked up underneath that I wanted to. Brackets and everything are taken care of, and now I'm going to start lowering the 4 jack stands here. Slow process, but better safe than sorry. So I'm going to do each one. I think I start with a full turn each corner, basically, until I get it to a safe spot that I can put the jack stands under, and then I'll remove, once the jack stands are able to get these blocks of wood, then I'll remove the steel braces and then finish lowering the body onto the frame, and then from there I can do all the proper shimming and figure out what I need for body bolts, and I can get this thing tightened down, and then I can really start thrashing on this thing. So that's the plan for today. So one more thing I forgot to mention, or I forget if I've already mentioned it, but what I did to line the chassis up with the body, I kind of made my own sort of plumb bob. So I had some of these not old, but big cotter pins, and had some leftover thread, and I just attached that to these thin strips of metal, put a little hole through it, and basically they can fit through the bolt hole, turn it sideways, and then use that to basically line it up with my body mount holes. And I've done that basically on all 4 corners and in the middle in a few spots, and so I'm pretty much pretty close to where I want to be for when lowering this down. Okay, so there we have it. The chassis is, the body is back on the frame. I still have it raised up a little bit just to be able to slide underneath. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have to still shim the body properly, get it sitting right, and then bolt it down. But looks like it's gonna have a nice ride height. Motor fits the space well. I just got a mess of brake fluid stuff, so I just have that bucket there to kind of catch any drips. So yeah, gonna start putting this thing back together, and I will take you guys along for that ride. Kind of hard to get a good shot of it here, but I think it's gonna look pretty sweet. Right, so now I have the body basically shimmed out. Still got to tighten the bolts down, so it'll probably need a bit of fine tuning, but this is the inside here, so this all has to basically get put back together. Gonna have to figure out the new wiring mixing with any old stuff that's staying in here. I think I mentioned before he's got a Dakota digital setup going in here, so that's going to be hopefully nice and easy install. Pretty much everything else is going to be new, so I think all this can be eliminated, as well as most of the wiring. The convertible top here, that's going to need some adjustment, and for whatever reason these are missing a bunch of bolts, I think, through the floor. They're just sitting loose in there, so that's not good. And yeah, one of them's leaking over there, a bunch of oil or something on the floor. Gonna have to look into that. And yeah, fix one of these nuts welded or whatever to the bottom of the floor pan here. That was blown out, so I'm gonna have to fix that. All they did was run like a self-tapping screw through the back of the seat frame, which isn't very nice, so I'll see if I can maybe do a little patch or something on that. This seat frame bracket here has to get fixed up as well. Just a whole bunch of little things before this thing can get the seats back in and see if it works. Back here, I think I also said before, had to cut out the spare tire pan, I guess, and so I'm just gonna make a nice little plate that goes on there, just probably with some nice removable screws, so you have access to the gas tank connections, which is like just under the lip there, so that'll be good. And yeah, just give it a nice little clean up, give it a once over, put the bumpers on. I'm assuming the exhaust is going to clear. That would be a nightmare if it didn't. Put all the trim back on the outside, put the fenders on, all the inner fenders, rad support, and then I can probably start to see where I'm going to mount all my fuse boxes and all the new electrical stuff that has to go on here. Try and make it look nice. When the inner fenders are on, there's some space here, not here because there's an air intake there for all the heater and air conditioning stuff's over there, but on this side I'm pretty sure there's a big blank space, so I think I can hide most of the stuff there. And yeah, slowly start picking away at this pile here and put it from here back onto this. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you liked it. That's just a little taste of the 57 Chevy project that I'm working on. Obviously I want to put out some more videos of me putting it back together, and if you guys want to see that, you can always subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment and all that good stuff. Helps me out, helps get me motivated to put out some more content. And some other things I want to work on, future videos, some motorcycle seats. I got a hot rod torn apart right now that I want to put back together. Got a 54 Chevy here that's basically been like that for a number of years, but I'm hoping to get onto it this winter, and maybe this YouTube thing will force me to finish a few projects around here. So just wish there was more hours in a day, you know. But if you guys like that 57, I got more of it coming, so stick around. And yeah, that's it for this one. See ya.